Hello, we're going to go over the lecture for 3.3 Dominants and Connectives. The first thing we need to do is discuss the order of dominance for logic symbols. You can find this in your text on page 83. Well, the most dominant would be the biconditional, followed by the conditional, followed by the conjunction or disjunction. They have equal dominance, so you would have to decide which one would be the most dominant. And then, of course, the negation. Just like in the order of operations with mathematics, we can change the order of operations by using parentheses. For dominance with logic, a symbol outside a parenthesis is more dominant than any symbol inside parentheses. Okay, what we're going to do here is identify the following statements as either a negation, a conjunction, a disjunction, conditional, or biconditional. And this is based on their dominance. To do that, the first thing we should do is to translate these words into logic symbols. So we're going to start by saying the Jets won is P, the Bills won is Q, the Browns lost is R. The key words here, or, would be the disjunction, and would be the conjunction. This comma separates the Jets won from the Bills won and the Browns lost, so that means we put parentheses around the Q and R to separate it from the statement P. Now that we have our statement, P or Q and R, we follow the logic dominance and we see that we have two symbols, the disjunction and the conjunction. Remember that they have equal dominance, so we are required to have the parentheses in order to identify which one is more dominant. That makes the disjunction outside the parentheses the most dominant, and this statement is then a disjunction. Let's try that again with the next problem. If John goes to college, well, John goes to college is P, Jack goes to art school, that's Q, their father will have to take a loan, that's R. Keywords: and is the conjunction, if then is the conditional, and you always put the arrow where the word then is. The comma separates the P and Q from the R, so group the P and Q in parentheses. And now we can look to see what's the most dominant. Is it the conjunction or is it the conditional? And we know that it's the conditional. So that makes this statement a conditional. Let's try number 3. Jose is here, that's P. Larry is here, that's Q. It is hot, that's R. Or is the disjunction, and is the conjunction. The comma separates the P and Q from the R, so we'll group the P and Q. Now looking at our statement, we see that the symbol outside the parentheses is the conjunction, and that is the most dominant. So this is a conjunction. It is false that. That's the negation. I took French 2, that's P, and I had taken French 1 before, that's Q. Anytime you see it is false that, you're going to put negation and then parentheses around what follows. So this statement would be negation P and Q. So the negation is the symbol outside the parentheses, making this symbol a negation. Identify each symbolic statement by its dominance. What we're going to do is take the symbolic statement, P and Q biconditional R. just looking at the symbols, which symbol is the most dominant? Is it the conjunction or the biconditional? We know it's the biconditional. So this statement would be a biconditional. Let's try another. Not P or Q, then R and S. Our operations are not, or, that's your conditional if then, and. Out of all of those four symbols, the one that is the most dominant is the conditional, therefore that's a conditional statement. Try this one. Okay, we have two operations. You have the disjunction and the conditional. Normally the conditional would be the most dominant, but because it is in parentheses, the disjunction on the outside of the parentheses becomes the most dominant. All right, one last one. Okay, this says P or not Q, then R. You have three operations: or, not, if then, conditional. We have to look at the two on the outside of parentheses, in this case the disjunction or the negation. Of those two, the disjunction would be the most dominant.